Welcome to Reading Inspires by Reading is Fundamental. I'm your host, Dr. Erin Bailey. This podcast celebrates the power of books and the joy of reading. In each episode, we talk with educators, librarians, families, authors, and literacy champions to explore one big question: what does reading inspire for you? Through stories, research, and real-world experiences from classrooms, libraries, and homes, we explore what literacy looks like and why it matters. Whether you're nurturing young minds, shaping learning spaces, or simply love a good book, we're glad you're here. Be sure to subscribe and get the latest episode. Let's get inspired. We are continuing to celebrate March as National Reading Month, and today I'm joined by Sabetha Wells, who leads quality assurance at Stauffers. She's an expert in what it takes to earn the trust and everyday moments with families as Stauffers celebrates 155 years and Riff celebrates 60 years. Stauffers is proud to introduce Simply Animals. This is an updated product that's produced in a peanut-free facility and made without high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors. We're chatting today to talk about what it means to nourish children's bodies as well as their minds, how snack time and story time can play a powerful role in literacy rituals. So welcome, Sabetha.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So when you think of the question, what does reading inspire for you? What is the first memory that comes to mind?
Well, it's actually kind of funny that you asked this question because it's also one of the reasons that I came to work for Stauffer's Biscuit company was my grandma Margie, my brothers and I, she would read to us The Grinch That Stole Christmas all year long. And it became a really special time at Christmas when she would also have Stauffer's holiday shortbread cookies for us to have and snack on as she read that story to us. So that's my earliest memory of a book that I truly loved. And of course, that was the first book I learned to read.
That is so sweet. We're big Grinch fans in the Bailey household, and my daughter, who's 5, wears a Grinch sweater pretty much all year round, so we can relate to that.
Yeah.
So you have a big title of quality assurance at Stauffers. What is something that you feel like people misunderstand about quality assurance in food?
Okay, well, I think one of the things is that while having the same great taste every time, having the product look the same, feel the same, have the wonderful, signature flavors and crunch of animal crackers, for example, we want to have that be consistent. So that's definitely one of the aspects of quality assurance. But I think the thing that kind of gets missed a little bit is the millions of little things that the folks do here at Stauffer's Biscuit Company making the products that put into each aspect of the product, whether it's sourcing the ingredients from vendors down to understanding their expectations and follow through on food safety matters, all the way through to the end of the product. There's a great deal of effort in every step, every ingredient, every process that ensures that the product is safely delivered to our customers in the manner you would expect, so that you're only getting the ingredients that are listed on the label and that those are good for you and result in a pleasant experience.
Something that's really big for me, and I'm sure you can relate to this because I know you have a daughter. So I have 2 younger ones who go to daycare, and my daughter is in elementary school, and both of the daycare and the school are peanut free. I mean, peanut allergies are
Right.
prevalent everywhere. So when I'm looking at packages and labels, I am looking for something that's peanut free and made in a peanut free facility. Can you share a little bit about what changes Stouffer's made? Like I mentioned earlier, the no high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors, and what kind of listening and testing went into making those kind of decisions?
Okay, well, yeah, you're right about the no high fructose corn syrup and no artificial flavors or colors go into any of our Stauffers Simply Animal crackers or cookies. But as we were discussing about food safety and the millions of little things that go into that product, it also includes our efforts in making sure that peanut and all other allergens are excluded from our products. So there are certification processes that we go through, auditing processes through third-party auditors. We do our own self-audits to ensure that there isn't a step being skipped or a process being missed, so that we are exclusively serving the products that are the ingredients that appear on those labels. Yeah.
Are there any behind the scenes steps that a lot of families might be surprised about that you consider?
I think one of the things that is the most surprising sometimes is the size of the batches. We're not making small batches, right? These are very large scale, several thousand pounds of dough, and it's a very interesting process with lamination that goes into the animal crackers, so that it's a series of multiple rollers over and over again. It's a very fast bake. I think that's also pretty surprising sometimes to folks, that it goes from dough to a delicious animal cracker in about 8 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a really so that's sometimes quite surprising, and I think those are the kinds of things that kids tend to find fascinating, is how large the equipment is.
Yeah, I bet. So let's think about this idea of nurturing the body and the mind, bringing together snack time and story time as a ritual. And many families do this, right? They have snacks and stories as a routine. Why do you feel like these small rituals matter so much for children's well-being and learning?
Well, I think that anytime that you're generating routines that are healthy and good for our children, that we are creating powerful learning opportunities. And when we share things like our snacks and have the opportunity to create playful, story time moments. So you may start out with a story about animals and then move on to a snack, or vice versa. It's always a good time to reinforce various aspects of learning with our kids, especially with the animal crackers, with those 13 different Simply Animals shapes. We can practice animals by name, the shapes, the sizes, habitats. As they get older, we'll talk more, to them about the various aspects of those animals' lives, and makes for a really nice interaction. And anytime we have the opportunity to make reading joyful and fun, I think really helps make it more of a positive for kids, as opposed to, just another chore or another, bit of work that I have to do.
Yeah, I love that. And as somebody who believes in preserving creativity and imagination in childhood, that speaks so much to my philosophy about childhood. So thank you for sharing that. I'll share a story of my husband, who I think I've taught very well, but he has breakfast with my daughter at school every morning, and he always comes home and tells me about this one child, and he says, I love the way that he plays with his food, which is so funny to me because a lot of people may tell children don't play with your food. And I mean, of course, there are some parameters around this, but how, and you described this a little bit, but how are animal crackers or animal cookies, Simply Animals, a natural way to invite imaginative play for children? And how does this play then connect to storytelling and curiosity?
That's I could just use my own life examples with my daughter. She is a big fan of making the sound of the animal every time before she bites the head off of that poor little animal cracker. But she she'll spend time telling me about, that particular cracker sometimes, or that animal. If it's the giraffe, she likes to, mimic chewing leaves and tell me about how high it had to reach to get those leaves. And there are lots of different ways that she shares with me. And I think that's the best part, is seeing where her mind goes with that and how she uses it.
That's beautiful. Perfect example. What is her favorite animal in
Oh
the
gosh.
crackers?
Yeah, so it's the elephant. By far, she loves the elephant first and foremost. Yes.
Amazing. My son loves elephants too. That was one of the first animals actually that he started mimicking the sounds
Yeah.
and making the, gesture. He would put his hand up
Oh yeah.
like a trunk. And I think what many families don't realize is that these are very important developmental milestones. When you are, my son, he's 2. So when you're hearing environmental sounds or animal sounds and mimicking them, these are actually the building blocks for hearing and producing sounds, which then later on gets translated into hearing sounds, connecting them with letters. And that's how we read and write. So these are very great for building those foundational literacy skills.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you remember when you were a child inventing stories with toys or characters? And, how does that connect with what you're doing now?
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, oh gosh, you got me stumped on that one. I might have to give that a second. Wow. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Let's see. I'm trying to, I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't thinking about myself in childhood with
We
animal
can also
crackers.
skip over that one if you want me to start talking about the book.
That's fine, unless you think we need it. I'm sure I can, yeah, I know I can. I guess I would think about it. And I could just answer that. Yeah. When a child, I grew up on a farm, and so we had many of the animals that will sometimes that you'll see on farms, and many of the animal crackers, especially the cat. And so I remember doing a lot of storytelling with my brothers about Meow Meow, the cat, who was our cat that we had on the farm. She was an excellent cat, and also the dairy cattle down the road. Lots of moos and lots of animal cracker stories that I shared with my brothers.
That is perfect for bringing up the book that Simply Animals is producing. So,
Yeah.
um, as part of this partnership between Simply Animals and Reading is Fundamental, Simply Animals has created a book called Bryson's Rocket Riddles, which features Bryson the bear, one of the key characters. And the book actually starts out on a farm or close to a farm where Bryson lives and goes on this journey of all the different animals that are featured in the Stauffers Simply Animals crackers and learns about their habitats and what they need to live in those habitats. So it's a fictional story, but with a lot of great information and bringing to life the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Bryson's Rocket Riddles. Do you want to see the image of the
Love
book?
to. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
really exciting as Bryson is meeting in Staufferville with his friends Harper the hippo and Taylor the tiger, and they are They go over to Staufferville Farm to see how animals are living there on Staufferville Farm, and then Bryson, yeah, uses his rocket to take off and evaluate. Or visit some other habitats throughout the world. It's a really fun story. My daughter loved it, so I hope that your family finds it as fun as we did.
Yes, and I had the opportunity to review it as it was being written and illustrated, and that was
Nice.
really fun to participate in. And so, with this partnership between Stauffer Simply Animals and Reading is Fundamental, when you purchase the book, 20% of the proceeds will go directly to Reading is Fundamentals to support our programs, which we're very grateful for. And I'll link the book below. It's at simplyanimals.com so that our listeners can go check it out themselves. But in creating this, working with, your team to create this book and bring this story to life, what were your hopes for kids and what they would do after they read it?
Well, I think it was exciting that it was National Reading Month, and the Reading is Fundamental is celebrating their 60th year, which I thought was pretty fantastic, with Stauffer celebrating 155 years and bringing this tradition of animal crackers into a book that introduces the life of the animals in a different way for kids to explore, and you can have snack time at the same time. It's actually a really fun. We practice. My daughter and I, we actually went through the book with the animal crackers, and we read it. First, we read it, just the book, and then we did it with the animal crackers, and we could not stop laughing. Doing it with the animal crackers made it that much more fun, as opposed to just noshing away. We know where she incorporated the animals into the story. So I think it's a great way to bring literature and reading to children in a fun way, because anytime we can create joy from reading, I think it's a positive for everyone.
I'm definitely going to copy you and also read the books with the animal crackers. I mean,
Yeah.
how could you not do that? But I think the wonderful thing is we talk a lot in the literacy space about how books are able to, well, two things. One, how you bring your own background knowledge to reading when you meet a book. And the other way is how books can help build background knowledge. And so with these animals, the way you're describing before, you can use this book to build a little background knowledge about the animals and where they live, their habitats, what they need for survival. And then let's say you don't have the book because you're at the playground or the park, munching on your animal crackers. You can still think about, oh, remember when we read this in that book, and tell me a little bit about what you learned about these animals. What sounds do they make? Where do they live? What do they need to survive? Um, it's a great way to bring that snack time and that storytelling and creativity and building background knowledge all together.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the funnest parts about being a mom, is having those moments where you see your child in a completely different setting. You're not reading together, but you are seeing those concepts gel in her mind, and she is taking that forward, what she learned and read, into a completely different situation. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, if an educator or library wanted to connect food choices, play, and reading, what's a simple, inclusive way to do that without making it seem like being a perfect parent or being a perfect educator?
Oh gosh. Well, I think that anytime we can make it fun, that's been, a big part of um, the reading with my child, is trying to make it fun, asking a lot of questions about what was your favorite part, and what did you think that the character, what did you think Bryson was going to do in the rocket when he first got in, and asking questions about the characters, or what they're learning and what their takeaways are, kind of not only reinforces it, but also can bring about another level of fun.
Yes, absolutely. And what message would you hope that families hear when they see this legacy brand, and I do mean legacy, 155 year old brand evolve and respond to really what families need today?
I would say that it's this business created in 1871 was created by a family of Stauffers. And from that, over the years, they have continued to hire and be very family focused. And so we've got a lot of team members that helped in the development of this product, as well as in the execution of the brand's development and making the animal crackers that have really given of themselves to see that each and every animal cracker that is coming out from Stauffers is safe and wholesome, and is going to bring, or going to take animal crackers into the future with those growing families. So it's a wonderful evolution, demonstrating the leadership of the organization, that we are listening to the voice of the customer and bringing in reducing high fructose corn syrup, or excuse me, eliminating high fructose corn syrup, and as well as artificial colorants and flavors, and taking the brand into the future for hopefully another 155 years.
Absolutely. And I've enjoyed this partnership that Reading is Fundamental has had with Stauffer Simply Animals. When you all came to us and asked me to review the book every step of the way, I mean, that's a different level of quality assurance. But what I saw from that was that you really did care about input. I mean, asking me as a literacy expert along the way, what do you think about this book? What recommendations do you have? It's very easy, I feel like, for a company to say, we're going to write a children's book, but it takes it to another level of care and quality to look for an organization whose mission and values aligns, and look for an expert in the field to give feedback along the way. And these seem to me very simple things, but have a deep and meaningful impact.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It was what brought me to say yes to this as a novice, and obviously not a professional podcast interviewee. This Reading is Fundamental has been a big part of my life since I was small, as have Stauffer's products. And so it's a great marriage, especially the 20% of the profits going to help the literacy programs for children nationwide. And then we'll have our Stauffers Simply Animal Crackers available nationwide by the end of April, just in time for National Animal Cracker Day.
Amazing. So thinking holistically, what's one quality check that families can do at home with their routines, not just looking at food labels, but just to make sure they're spending time together?
Oh yeah, that's another one you caught me on. Because I find myself, when I hear questions like that, I immediately feel emotional.
Of course.
So sorry. So that just immediately takes me. But I would say that the best way that we can honor quality time with each other is literally being there, being fully present. We have a lot of screens and other options before us when we're together as a family, and making sure that we take that time, even if it's a small amount of time, as a routine throughout the day, to read a book together, to have a snack together, to talk to each other. Yeah.
I appreciate that so much as somebody who advocates for less screen time and less competing priorities when you're around your children, and acknowledging that it is very difficult. Snack time can easily turn into, let me give my child a snack and step into the other room to check my work emails. Let me put my child in front of a TV while they're eating a snack. And I'm not saying to never do those things. I live in the real world too. But I think what we've discussed here today is really the intention that you can bring to snack time, having fun with it, setting aside that routine as something special, and these little adorable animal crackers are perfect for it because you can naturally engage in conversation and play and let your imagination take you somewhere else.
Absolutely. It is one of the, there are so many wonderful parts of parenting, and then there are lots and lots of challenges. But having those moments, just those moments of complete intunement with each other, even if they're brief and they're few and far between, the fact that we have them makes a lot of things worth it.
Absolutely. So I am going to have you finish this sentence as we close out. Reading inspires in families.
Oh, creating joyful life moments. I have to say it that way because that's not only kind of the motto for my family. Our family motto is let's have fun. But Stauffer's Biscuit Company's actual vision for our organization is to create joyful life moments within our organization, but also with the families that we serve. And so it's kind of have to say it that way, but it's a beautiful sentiment, and it's really what we try to practice, and why it matters so much to us that we're bringing Stauffer's Simply Animal Crackers to households nationwide.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Reading is fundamental. We are all about promoting the joy of reading, particularly in today's climate around literacy. So I appreciate that. Reading inspires joyful moments in families. Thank you so much, Sabetha.
Thank you so much, Erin. It was great to talk to you today, and I love to talk. Of course, this is one of my favorite subjects. So, reading and eating snacks. I love it.
I
Thank
love reading
you.
and eating snacks too. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening to Reading Inspires by Reading is Fundamental. I hope today's conversation sparked new ideas, meaningful connections, and a renewed love of reading. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, share with a fellow literacy champion, and join us next time as we continue to explore what reading inspires.